Hello, and welcome to episode 47 of Missed Mando, Ontario's source for the latest in the disc golf world. I'm your host, Robbie Holden, joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Sean Galbraith. Shawnee G, how you doing, and what you been up to since our last episode?
Doing great, Robbie. I've been up to absolutely nothing. I don't think I've touched a Frisbee in a couple weeks easily. Other than removing them out of my car to get ready to go camping last weekend. Basically I'm really preparing well for provincials next week, clearly. I haven't been doing anything related to disc golf whatsoever, and it's actually been kind of nice. Did a little bit of a break before the end of the season, whether the break is longer. What about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, you are what I was last show when I said I was up to absolutely nothing, and you had a lot going on, and now the roles have flipped. I've had a busy couple weekends since we last recorded. I alluded to it on the last show. I had my birthday was on October 3rd, the Friday after our last episode came out. Turned 30, crossed the 30 barrier, which is only incredibly terrifying. But it was a good day because I am a 30-year-old adult. I had to work, but I was able to go into Toronto that evening. My buddy Ryan McWaters and Calvin Rorta, who now moved in with Ryan. So that's a scary duo as roommates. But they were kind enough to host a bunch of our disc golf buddies. I mean, to say disc golf buddies, just buddies, because really my closest friends now are all people that I've met in the last 3 years playing disc golf. But we got a bunch of people together. Chris Brown and Colleen McInnes came out. Dale Semple was down from Barrie. Jeff Steele. Bunch of really good people. Some were there for the Wards Wide Open, which was on Toronto Island on the Saturday. So came down and just stayed in the city. Went to the tournament the next day. Chris and Colleen are maniacs and drove all the way into the city. Stayed playing board games till like 1 a.m., drove all the way home, and then we're in Guelph for a 9 a.m. tea time Saturday morning. Absolute maniacs, but huge shout out to them for coming out and celebrating with me. It was a great way to ring in my 30s officially. And I mentioned the Wards Wide Open. I did not play in it, but I did play on Sunday at the Lucky Lines Open in Guelph, which was a ton of fun. And last weekend, I played in the Stones Throw Fall Open, one of my favorite courses. I love going out there. It's a difficult but fun track. And the people out there are just amazing. Some of my favorite people that I get to see every year when I go out there. Couple lead card appearances in the final round for me at both of those tournaments. A big 0 added to my win column, but we will get into that as we go on. And we've got a lot to get to in this show. There are 5 Ontario tournaments that we are going to recap eventually in this show. I can't believe there's still so many tournaments this late in the year, but some great tournaments we're going to get to. But first, we are going to send it over to our feature interview for the episode. We are very, very, very excited to welcome back to the show Rebecca Dawn, who has had an incredible rookie season on the Pro Tour, frontrunner for the Rookie of the Year award, and highest rated FPO Canadian ever when she got to 957 2 updates ago. So incredibly fun to have Rebecca back. It was a great interview with her, and we will be right back on Missed Mando with Rebecca Dawn. Our next guest last joined us on episode 29 at the end of March of this year after she played 3 Elite Series events on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And since then, she's played another 8 Pro Tour events and 1 major. two majors if you include Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship as a major, which we definitely do here on Missed Mando, collecting 3 top 10 and another 5 top 20 finishes, highlighted by 4th place finishes at the Discmania Challenge and the Ledgestone Open. When she wasn't on tour, she won the Aberdeen Glass Open and took 2nd place at Canadian Nationals, the CCR Open, Lake Ontario Open, Project 15 Open, and the Christie Lake Spring Fling. She's also the front runner to win the 2025 DGPT Rookie of the Year award and is currently 2nd in the PDGA Rookie of the Year race. It's a pleasure to welcome back to the Missed Mando podcast from Westport, Ontario, Rebecca Dawn. Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It is always a pleasure to have you back here, joining rare company as part of the 3-time Missed Mando Guest Club, obviously one of the most prestigious clubs in all of disc golf, of course.
Yeah.
But what a year it has been for you, Rebecca. Like we said, you played 11 Elite Series events and a major, 2 if you consider Throw Pink, like I said. And you played at a high level all season, raising your player rating from 910 at the start of the year to 955 currently, with a peak at 957. Looking back, how are you feeling about how your 2025 season has gone, especially your official rookie season on the Pro Tour?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I never, going into this year, I was only planning on doing the 6 Pro Tour events that the silver card would give me. And I was hoping to do more events, just locally, but after the first 3 events and how they went, and then in June going out there again for the next 3 tournaments, the Pro Tour events went really well, and then I was able to get off the wait list for a bunch more events, which was really awesome, but at the start of the year, I never would have imagined everything that happened, especially the top 5 finishes. I was mainly hoping to, make cash at a few events, just, see how I could place against the field, and really not expecting much at all, just as my rookie season and all that. And just, I gained so much experience, it's crazy, irreplaceable experience, really. You really can't replace, the experience you gain on tour and in high pressure situations and all that. So, man, this year's been so good, experience wise, and also just meeting so many new people, and just a really, really good rookie season overall.
I'd say that's an understatement for sure. So you started off the season, you played the Supreme Flight Open, you played Waco. You missed cash by a little bit on those.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, something clicked. Was it at Austin, I think it was, where you got your first cash?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Dollar Dawn, I believe it was. And then you cashed at every Pro Tour event you played through GMC, and then got back in the cash at MVP Open.
Yeah.
At that third at Austin, what did something click? Did you oh, this is how to play these events? Or did it just, you run into a string of events that really suited your game? There was the before and after Austin, there was a notable difference. And what were you thinking about that?
I mean, I feel like Open at Austin was really where I played, I think, to my potential, and it just really helped my, in my headspace, just giving me confidence and almost assurance that I can play at this level. But really, thinking back on it, Florida was my first event, first Pro Tour event, other than Throw Pink the year before, but I was, really nervous coming into that, but I played really, really well, except for one hole where I got a 13 on hole 18, and so really, if I look at Florida, if I didn't take a 13 on hole 18, I would have been top 10, which is kind of insane to think about. So I played 98% of that tournament really good. And then, I mean, I don't regret, really, not that I regret, but I'm not upset with how that tournament went, because it really again, it's experience. Like, going through these situations, you got to go through the
Absolutely.
hard situations to learn from them and how to bounce back from it. And so I guess Florida was a really good start to the season, even though it was kind of tough after that hole 18. But yeah, that one was like a pretty good tournament. And I think Waco, it was still kind of like getting used to the Pro Tour, how it kind of works, the competitiveness, but also it didn't really suit my game. I feel like I wasn't really a well-rounded player yet, I think. I mean, I could also say, I guess, still warming up from Canadian winter, so I guess I could say that as well. But
yes, I'd
I
say
mean,
so.
yeah, I didn't play bad in that event either. But then at Open at Austin, I had made chase card for third round, and that was a crazy experience. It was like I played well at Sprinkle Valley, and then I found myself on chase card, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening right now? This is crazy. I was so nervous that round. And I did not do good that third round, but I still made cash. So I don't know. I guess you could say that Open at Austin was a turning point, but I think the two tournaments just kind of led up to it. And then when I first cashed, it gave me the confidence and kind of assurance that I can play well on the Pro Tour, and just kind of showing that I can do well. I can play well against these players at this level. And so, yeah, I guess after Open at Austin, I had that confidence, and then went back to Canada, did a few local tournaments, did pretty good at those, and then, went back on tour, and I have my big group of friends, and I guess that really helps when you have a good community out there supporting you. And so, yeah, I guess you could say Open at Austin was a turning point, because that's kind of where everything kind of turned around and started going well for me.
So you played events from Florida to Portland, Texas to Maple Hill, all over the US, and of course events up here in Canada as well. But more specifically on the tour stops down in the States, what are some of the events that jump out as highlights for you? Do you have a favorite event so far from this season? And a little peek behind the curtain, Sean wrote this question and has in parentheses that he hopes it was the MVP Open, of course, because he was all over the camera as the hole official and spotter on hole 14. But don't let that sway you. I want to hear your honest opinion.
Yeah, I would say the main event that kind of stands out for me right now is the Northwest Disc Golf Championships, going to Oregon. That was a really, really awesome week, I think, just because it was my first time going out to the West Coast, and it was just so incredible. And I was staying with a bunch of friends that week, and so just the whole week itself was a blast, and then playing well just was a cherry on top. But that was, like, the courses out there, Glendoveer is so, so good. And just a beautiful, beautiful landscape. So I would say probably Oregon. Another one would be GMC and MVP, just because they're both the playoff events, but Vermont was just, the time of year is my favorite. I love fall so much. I love just the temperature, and all the trees are changing, and just the landscape was so beautiful in Vermont. And then MVP was just so cool with the experience with the spectators, just how the course is set up. It's so good for spectators, and just such a cool event to play. It really seems like really professional. You feel like a professional athlete at that event. So I would say those are like my top three. The Des Moines was just a fun course to play, but it also was probably, I love that one because I did well at it, and it was like kind of my first event that I got fourth, so it was my first top 5, and it was just such a fun weekend, and yeah, so much fun, and being on lead card and chase card, and just playing well was really cool. So I really did enjoy that event as well. And Ledgestone as well. Ledgestone was awesome. Really, really hot, but it was awesome.
I mean, placing fourth at Ledgestone, that helps.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say those are my top 5, and I really enjoyed the Des Moines and Ledgestone, because those were just such cool experiences.
Just to linger on MVP, because I'm contractually obligated to, as member of the staff there. You were, I believe, the first FPO to nail the drop zone putt on 8.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
How did you enjoy the whole 8 experience with the 8 holes and the hype and the insanity that is that hole?
Oh, it was amazing. I think it's the coolest thing, and just is so much fun for all the players and the spectators, because just throughout the whole course you can hear them. Like on hole 1, you can hear them screaming, and it's like, oh, the 8 hole, we're getting ready to go there. It's going to be awesome. And it's just, it brings an excitement. And even like, it's just so exciting to walk up to that tee pad and they're all screaming. And then when you're walking up to the green, as you're going to step over the line, like they're so fun, and they really hype you up. So I loved coming up to that hole every time. They make it so much fun.
And you made 2 really difficult drop zone putts. You made the drop zone putt on 8, and then when you joined me out on 14, you made the drop zone putt there. How, like, you've seen, obviously you're familiar with the courses, and you're familiar with all the courses on tour from watching them on coverage. But these were the first times you played MVP and most of these other courses. How was it when you actually got to those drop zones and you could see that elevation change down to the basket and the spectators and the whole environment? Did that come into your head at all, or were you able to block all that out? Obviously you were able to make the putts, but like, did that environment come into your mind at all when you were lining up these really difficult and like death putts?
Yeah, I mean, that round I was playing, my putting was pretty solid, so I guess that really helped with the confidence. But I think just stepping up to those putts and telling myself to give it a safe run, like still run it, but don't, I mean, my circle 2 putt anyways, it never really goes too far past if I miss, but just giving myself the confidence, it's like giving myself the green flag to run it, I think kind of helped. It's like I have to tell myself, like, no fear, you're going after it with kind of a safe run, but still go after it fully. I mean, yeah, it was super cool going from watching these courses online the past few years and then coming to see it in person. It's always just so cool to see and actually experience it myself as a player. It was really cool to be there in the moment instead of just watching on DGN. So yeah, I mean, some of the shots are more intimidating in person, and then others it's like, oh, this isn't actually that bad after all. So yeah, it's always kind of a guess if the course is going to play as hard as you think it is, or maybe a little easier. But yeah, it was really awesome.
Had you watched coverage of all of the courses to get familiarized with them before you arrived, or were you just going in kind of blind for some of them? And like, the ones that you had seen before, if it's all of them, whatever, which courses surprised you the most when you actually stepped on the courses to play them? Were ever like, oh, this is actually easier than it looked, or this is way more difficult than it looked, or it's cooler than it even looked on coverage? Any courses surprise you when you actually went out to play them?
I mean, I guess for quite a few of them, I found that watching it on DGN, it made it look a lot bigger and more intimidating. And then when I get there in person, I'm like, okay, this isn't actually as bad as I thought. But then there's also the other side of it where it's like, oh my goodness, this island looks way smaller than it did on camera. And so then it's like terrifying. But really, I think, I can't think specifically of what courses, were really surprising. I think that's kind of how it is with being a rookie is I didn't really think too much of the coverage that I watched. I just came there the first practice round. I never expect anything. Like, I don't really get anything done in the first practice round other than learn the course. So I always go out with a friend that has played it before, and then they kind of show me around and I kind of see what the course is, see what shots I could do. And then it's always the second practice round that I'm starting to lock in what I'm going to throw. But yeah, as a rookie, that was definitely what, it's a disadvantage being a rookie because you're learning these courses brand new every single week. So you're playing at least 3 practice rounds. So I guess I didn't really think of the coverage too much when I was out there unless I had watched it really recently, but I just kind of stepped onto the course like, all right, this is a brand new course. How do I do the best I can on it? Kind of figure out the lines, get tips from other people that have played it for years before. And yeah, I'd always try to do at least 3 practice rounds on each course, but there were a few holes that were surprising for sure, but I can't think specifically which ones.
So as we mentioned, your biggest finishes of the year were a 4th at Des Moines, 4th at Ledgestone, and 8th at the Preserve. Clearly, the Midwest Tour agrees with your game. So what do you think it was about these courses that set you up for success? Was there anything in particular? Or, I always hear that the food in the Midwest United States is really good. So maybe it was just some good food or something. What was really working for you really well in that stretch?
I think, remembering those events, I think my putting was was going really well and was pretty solid in those events. But, for the Preserve, it's a longer course, and it's not like a long course where you have to throw like 400 feet, but just having like a solid 350 distance, I think really helps. And yeah, I don't know. I think these courses just kind of fit my style of play. Especially at Ledgestone, the Sunset Hills was pretty good. I played really well on that course, and then Northwoods Black, I didn't play as well in tournament, but just those shots where I can throw a mid-range, like disc down to a mid-range, really helps. And then the other event was Des Moines. Des Moines is just like such a fun track because I don't know what it is about it, but that has been the tournament that has had so many first-time winners at it. And I think it's just because it's just such a variety of shots. Like, there are some far holes, some short holes. I really don't know. I can't really guess on how or why that is, but that was just such a fun course to play. Some people don't love the course, but I just really enjoyed it because the holes are so different from each other, and it was kind of a fun, almost park course to play. So yeah, Des Moines was really fun. Ledgestone, playing Sunset Hills was great, and I think that's where I really got my score up, and then it was just trying to survive on Northwoods Black the last day, especially since I wasn't playing that well, but we survived it, and then yeah, I think I kind of covered all 3 of those really in a random fashion there, but yeah, I don't know. I think there were parts of the courses that really fit my game that really helped.
So you just got back from Throw Pink. This is your second year out at the event. A little bit on the other end of the scale. from Des Moines and Ledgestone. The course seems to kind of have your ticket a little bit there. I think you did 45th last year, 48th this year. You had a 13, I believe. That was a bit rough on one of the holes.
Yeah.
What is it about? What is it about that course that you think maybe needs to be a part of your game that maybe you need to work on a little bit to get back up into the cash of that event? Or is it the event? Is it, I don't know. Have you thought about what it is? What is it about Throw Pink that seems to give you a bit of a run for your money?
Yeah. So I would say last year totally made sense because I didn't have the experience I did now. So I really didn't expect anything last year. So, and I will say I wasn't that good yet last year at this point. So yeah, last year's made sense, but this year, really all I can say is I am very mentally exhausted at this point, in the competitive scene. So I've never done this many tournaments in a row, like nearly this many tournaments in a row before. So I was on the road, from Ledgestone, from Aberdeen Glass Open in the beginning of August, straight through. I did tournaments till the week before Throw Pink. So I think that was Aberdeen Glass Open, Ledgestone Open, CCR, D-Glow, Canadian Nationals, Vermont, MVP. That was 7 tournaments in a row. And then I was home for 1 week to go to school, catch up on everything, and then go straight to Throw Pink. So I think really I know I can play well at Winthrop. The practice rounds went really well. But when it came to the tournament side of things, I was just really exhausted with just being like in the competitive side. I was just finding myself really tired and not just like tired as in sleepy, but just mentally like exhausted, draining. And especially when I have a bad hole, I just like I didn't feel the fight to come back from it really as I would earlier in the year. So I threw some really great shots at Throw Pink, and then I threw some really, really bad shots. So it was just so inconsistent, but I'm not really thinking about it too much. I had an amazing week outside of playing it, and really I don't think I played that awful. It was just some holes that I really racked up the numbers, and then yeah, it was just I really didn't feel that fight to play my best. I was just like tired, and then I would play bad, and then I'm just like I didn't really care. I tried to care, but I was having a really hard time really caring to fight back from it. So my explanation from it, it could be my excuse, but like I'm really happy to be home and take a week and a bit off before provincials. Provincials I'm like super chill about. I'm not really stressed about like practicing too much. But I'm really excited to take a bit of time off, do the off season, focus on my form, and just kind of relax from this long stretch of traveling and touring, because I've never done anything like this before. So before this, I think a stretch of 4 tournaments in a row is my biggest. So hopping on to 7 tournaments in a row and practicing the courses at least 3 times a week, it was pretty exhausting. So this past weekend, I'm not really thinking too much about it. It was pretty sucky how like a way to end it, but after thinking about it, it's like I'm not gonna dwell on this because and I'm not gonna let it change my view of how this season went, because this season went really, really well. I had some really great performances, and this one bad performance doesn't define how I did this season, or like doesn't even define how I ended the season, really. I think gaining all the experience that I did was the best, and I mean, I gained more experience at Throw Pink. I've learned some more things, and I know what I need to work on, and yeah, I'm not really too worried about how it happened. It was sucky, but I'm already kind of past it. So, yeah, we're good.
That is a great mindset to have. And, you know, you always hear people talk about how the tour is a grind, and you just got the firsthand experience on that
Yeah.
this year. And you did it, like we've talked about, you did it in a couple sort of like mini tours, I'll say, where you went out down to the States, you came back for a bit, played some Canadian tournaments before going back down to the States, and with that long stretch towards the end of the year, like you were mentioning. So overall, how did you enjoy that time being out on tour? You know, being on the road. Obviously, like we've mentioned, by the end, it does get exhausting. It's a long season to be doing all of that. But was there anything that you weren't expecting about it that surprised you? And what did you like most about being out on tour?
I really just gotta say, what made tour possible, and also just the best time ever, was having my friends out there. So I started the year only knowing like really one person on tour, and then ending the year, I have this whole community and this whole group of friends that I've been able to travel with, hang out with, do practice rounds with, and really that's also what made tour possible, because I like my parents can't bring me to every single tour event, and so a lot of the events I was going out alone, and I would stay with one of my friends, and they would drive me places that I need to be. And so really having friends and a big group of them was what made it possible for me to tour this year. But really just seeing how well it went, and just seeing how many friends I've made is such a cool and crazy thing, of seeing how fast I made such good friends that like really care about me, and just such a supportive group is really what made tour amazing this year. I couldn't imagine doing it without any of them. Like having to do practice rounds alone, or figuring it out alone, or whatever, like it just wouldn't have been possible. And so really what made tour this season amazing was the friends, I would say. And just like, even you can't have playing the main thing in your mind when you're on tour. Like, yes, it's your job, but if I were to think about and focus on disc golf every moment of every day, it would not be fun, because I wouldn't be able to get past those bad rounds. And so when I have a bad round or a bad day, like just being able to hang out with friends and do something fun to forget about it is really important. Like you really can't, I don't think you can focus on disc golf 24/7. That's just not really healthy in my mind. And so, I mean, Throw Pink this week, for example, I did really, really bad. And I was able to kind of brush off my round and follow my friends' rounds, and then go to Carowinds, an amusement park, and just have really fun times with my friends, which made the week so much better. And I'm just imagining if I didn't have my friends there, I would just play my round, be really sad about it, and really upset, and then I don't know what I'd do. Like, it would just be really boring and kind of depressing if I have to just be alone and sulk after my rounds. And so yeah, just being able to have friends to do fun things with, to take your mind off of disc golf once in a while, is really, really good. And also friends to help me with my game. I mean, I've learned so much from so many of them, and they can help me with my form, they can help me with practice rounds and strategies, and so many of them know like every disc in my bag and how I play. So having them caddy as well is just really, really awesome. So yeah, I mean, I kind of forget the question. I always keep on rambling off here, but my friends, that was
Who were some of the players that are now your tour friends?
Trinity Bryant, and then Cal Longquist, Corridal, and Luke Taylor, Andrew Miranda, Jaden Rye, and a bunch of other people in Eagles Wings as well. Those were just a few of the names that I put out there, but I mean, I have so many different groups of friends out there. I could go on and on listing their names, but yeah, those are just a few of the closer ones in the past few weeks. But yeah, just so much support.
Couple friends of the pod's name I recognize in there. We love to see some Missed Mando representation.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We know to hit you up when we need to get new guests on the show for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Shameless. We are shameless about this. As you know, because we've done it before.
Yes. Yep. Talk to me anytime. I have connections.
Fantastic. So you again, at the start of the season, you weren't planning on doing like pretty much a full tour this year. You ended up doing pretty much a full tour this year. How so you weren't planning on doing everything that you did when you started off. So how did you end up like getting around the country? Were you doing the van life with friends? Were you doing Airbnbs? And then how did you feel that worked out? Do you think you'll do the actual, like the tour part, like the logistics of the tour? Do you think you'll do it the same next year? Or did you learn some things this year? Like, oh, maybe I want to do this a little bit differently next year. Tweak it a little, maybe take some more time off so that at the end of the season, you're not quite as kind of mentally drained. I don't know. What do you think? How do you think you'll approach the tour next year? I'm assuming you're doing the tour next year.
Yes. Yep, that's my plan. So yeah, I guess the first few events I was with my family, and then in June I camped at 2 of the events with Trinity. So we both had our tents out there, and we would camp at the courses. So yeah, I was camping for a few of them. Some of the other events I stayed at friends' houses that lived in that area near the course, so I would just stay at their house with them and just go to the course with them because they are also FPO, so we're going to the course early anyways. And then the other ones, I was in an Airbnb, so I had my family, like my parents come out to a few of them. Sometimes we arranged our family vacation to go to that tour stop, so my whole family's out there, and it just works out really well that way. And then a couple of the times I had my older sister and her husband come out, and I would stay in an Airbnb with them. So kind of have a babysitter each week, you could say. Someone that comes out, gets the place to stay in, and then drives me around. So yeah, I kind of did a bit of everything. And then near the end,
chauffeur.
Yes, exactly. Near the end, it was staying in Airbnbs with a bunch of other players. So I kind of had a bit of everything, which was a really fun experience and really good for helping me decide what I would like to do next year. So I think I've decided next year I am going to get a full tour card and go to hopefully almost all the events, except for a couple of them in June, so I can graduate. I won't miss graduation. I think my plan is to do Airbnbs with a bunch of my friends, and then the odd weeks my parents will probably come out, or my siblings, and just kind of do the Airbnb route, I think. So that's my plan for next year. I'm hoping to go to a couple of the European events. Still seeing how that could work out with school and graduation and all that stuff in June and July. But yeah, I have my whole second semester at school, online classes, so that gives me a bunch of freedom and flexibility to go on tour to most stops and yeah, travel around and not worry too much about falling behind in person, because that's kind of what I've been doing the past few weeks, and it's a little tough, but we're working through it. I just went back to school today and we're figuring it out. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, I think that's my plan for next year, kind of seeing how it goes, and especially in the next month and a bit, just organizing things with sponsors and yeah, just the logistics of everything. But so far, that's what it's looking like.
I'll have a follow-up about balancing, being a high school student that's also on tour. But I have a tangent to a question that I didn't write down, but you mentioned him in your last answer, and I've seen him on coverage sometimes carrying your bag at a couple tournaments, and that is Joey Voskamp, one of my favorite card mates who I don't get to see nearly as often as I would like to. Being a dad, I guess, takes up some more of your time. But when he does get to join you down at an event and is on the bag for you, what's that dynamic like? Being someone that you know so well, does he help you, keep things a little more lighthearted and maybe crack jokes with you, keep you kind of, a little in a better headspace, or is he like super serious and helping you figure out lines? What's the dynamic like between you and Joey when he's on your bag?
I mean, I love having Joey on the bag. He's the one that taught me how to play. He knows my game so well, probably the best, because he's the one that taught me everything and showed me how to do it and helped me kind of learn this sport physically and also mentally. So whenever he's out there on the bag, it's so much fun because he knows exactly my game, but also what's going on in my head. So I feel like I have people caddy me who I'm like pretty close with. So I wouldn't say I act too different with my caddies, but yeah, with my caddies and like Joey, I'm usually just always acting the same. I don't really change anything, and they're usually the same. It's just like have a fun round and keep it lighthearted, but in the moment help me out with like what I should do. I really, with caddies, I love getting confirmation on a shot. So it's like I might have two choices and I'm like, should I do this one or this one? And then them saying, yes, do that one. It's like, all right, perfect. This is a good choice. I can do this. It just kind of gives more confidence. And so, yeah, having Joey on the bag, he knows exactly what's going through my head a lot of the time. So he's able to get me out of that headspace if I am doing poorly or I'm getting just a little upset on the course. He's able to pull me back out of that. And yeah, just really getting confirmation and confidence in my choices of shot and what disc to do is really, really important. And that's what I really, really love about caddies, is just having that second answer of like, yes, you should do that one. It's like, all right, perfect. I feel good about this. And just a lot more confidence. So yeah, whenever I can have Joey out on the bag, it's always so much fun. I love it.
Well, shout out to all of your caddies through the season, but a special extra one from me to Joey, because I absolutely love that guy. And anytime I like randomly it would show a clip of you on coverage, or if you were just on full coverage on chase card or lead card, and if he was there, I was always just like the Leo DiCaprio pointing at the TV meme of like, oh, I know that guy, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he listens to the show. I hope he does, but shout out to Joey. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right. And Joey, you should be listening anyways. Come on, man. But going back to high school and tour life, what is it like balancing, like doing that balancing act? Obviously, you mentioned doing online course stuff, but it's still obviously work that you have to do at some point while being out on the road, balancing practice rounds and all that. So, how is it doing that balancing act throughout the season?
It's I mean, it's pretty hard to, mainly it's the motivation to get it done. I'm good at school. It's not too hard for me, but it's more the motivation of actually putting time aside to do the schoolwork. It's like I come home from the course of a practice round and I'm with my buddies and we just want to hang out or do games or whatever. It's like the last thing I want to do right now is go and do schoolwork. So it's it kind of helps when a few of my friends are also doing school, like university online or whatever. So when they go and do it, then it's like, okay, fine, I'll do my schoolwork as well, because then we'll both be doing it. But yeah, I guess the hardest part is getting the motivation to do it when that's the last thing I want to be doing. But yeah, having really my principal and my guidance counselor have been amazing with setting everything up and just getting the best schedule for me. So it hasn't been as awful as it could be. Yeah, having their support in all of this has been a game changer and just really, really awesome, and is what made it possible. And so right now, the past few weeks have been a little tougher because I have 2 in-person classes. So I'm kind of trying to stay caught up as I'm on the road. And yeah, coming back today, it's just kind of seeing where they're at and where I'm at and just trying to line it up again. But yeah, I mean, all my friends on tour, most of them, a couple of them have been bringing me to Office Depot, gotta print off an exam or a test, and then they gotta be my supervisor or whatever as I'm doing the test. And so then I have my test out, I'm doing it, take a picture, send it to my teacher, and that's kind of how it works. So, I mean, yeah, that really helps. And also just having, my school's pretty small and I'm pretty close with a lot of my teachers. So it's really, it's pretty smooth with how it works because they trust me to not cheat on a test or whatever, and it's like, I will get the work done. So it's more just the motivation to get it done, forcing myself to sit down and put in the time, but I get it done, and I guess that's what matters, and I'll be graduating in June, so only a few more months left. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Coming back to school, does everybody know that you are a big deal? That you are a professional touring athlete who has been on disc golf television, and like it's the whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Not many people say anything. I think they know that I am, but they just don't say anything. But it's kind of it's always a weird thing to go from touring and then come back to school, and it's like, on tour I'm the youngest one out there, and then suddenly I go to school and I'm the oldest kid in the school, and it's like, this is just so weird. I'm just hopping from place to place, and it's such a weird switch. But I mean, after a few days I get used to it, back into routine. But yeah, I think quite a few of them know. I think a lot of them know, but they're probably confused at what I'm doing. So sometimes a few of them will ask, like, what are you doing? Like, where's tour? And I'm like, oh, it's everywhere. It's all around America. It kind of switches every week. But yeah, I think quite a few of them know because I've done presentations at school about it. So yeah, quite a few of them know, but not too many bring it up, but that's okay.
Innova needs to make you like a sizzle reel of like your clips on coverage and like edit it all together so you can just like show it at a school assembly or something like that.
That would be pretty cool. That would make things a lot easier. And I'm not like, well, disc golf is this. It's golf but with a frisbee and you're aiming at a basket or whatever. Explain the whole thing and all that. Yeah.
And Innova also needs to upgrade your contract.
Hopefully.
So have there been any discussions about that yet? Or was that like a later on in the season kind of thing?
I think we'll be finalizing things in the next few months. So we'll see what happens. But
wonderful.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know and come back on the pod for the exclusive announcement. We are
all right.
Always down with that.
Yep.
One more question about sort of tour this year. Thinking back, do you have any like favorite memories or favorite things that happened on tour for this year? Like that pop out like, oh man, this was This was amazing. This was so cool.
Oh man, there's so many. This is like the time where I just go through my camera roll and see all the funny videos and pictures with each stop. But I guess one of the main ones is that pops into my mind right away was Northwest Disc Golf Championships Sunday night right after Gannon won. There's a whole group of us that are hanging out, and we go. This is at Glendevere. We go to the driving range. And no one's there. So there's 2 stories, and I'm on the bottom story with Trinity and Luke, and we find a few stray golf clubs, and we start hitting a few balls in the range, and then above us is Gannon, Ezra, and a bunch of other guys, I forget who, but they're throwing a pizza box off the top of the driving range, and I think they made a whole video about this, but yeah, they were doing a distance competition with a pizza box, and so I have so many videos of me, Trinity, or Luke hitting the golf ball, and then there's just a pizza box flying through the air, and then Gannon's at the bottom, and he catches it, and then he throws it back up to them, and I mean, there's one where Luke's swinging the club, and a pizza box comes and lands like 1 foot in front of him, so then he has to stop his swing. He grabs it, he walks forward, tosses it up to the second story, and they continue their competition, their YouTube video, and we're just, yeah, it was so funny. And then, of course, when I go out and the pizza box comes to me, when I throw it back up to them, the pizza box explodes and pizza goes everywhere. But yeah, that was a pretty funny memory. Yeah, that was so many memories, honestly, throughout the whole year. I could name one from every stop, but that would take forever. But that's probably one of the biggest ones, I'd say.
Disc Golf Pro Tour is filled with just a bunch of goofballs out there having fun, and I I absolutely love it. So Rebecca, as we mentioned in the intro, you're currently second in the points-based PDGA Rookie of the Year standings, trailing only Ida Letomaki, who of course got a ton of points at the World Championships over in Finland. But you are currently considered to be the front runner for the DGPT Rookie of the Year award, which is awarded by DGPT standings plus a media and tour card player vote. And I saw it. I think it was last weekend when they were talking about the youngsters in the field at Throw Pink. They had specifically besides you was Rookie of the Year front runner. So what would it mean to you and your career to win Rookie of the Year on the Pro Tour?
Oh, it would mean so much. Coming into the season as a rookie, like it was kind of on my mind, of just something that would be really cool to win. And then just through the middle stretch of the year, I can't think about it right now because I'm just going to wait till the end, see how it goes. I'm not going to have that as my main focus. But kind of seeing how, it's turned out. I mean, through the middle stretch, I kind of took away the PDGA Rookie of the Year. I'm like, okay, I don't think I have enough tournaments or whatever to really stack up. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to focus on this one. Now I'm going to focus on Pro Tour Rookie of the Year. And yeah, I was able to finish out on top with the points, which was super cool. And just, yeah, really exciting because, and hopefully, I'll still have the votes for fan vote and tour card holder. But yeah, to win that would mean so much and would really, really be would be a big cherry on top, I guess, for a really good rookie season to kind of reward myself, I guess, for the good finishes and just how cool the year was. But I mean, if I got it or not, I think it's just like an extra really cool bonus thing to get and just a cool reminder of the rookie season and how it went. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool award to get. So I'm excited to see how it pans out. But yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
We unfortunately here at Mist Mando do not get a media vote. Otherwise, we would guarantee at least one vote for you. But
Awesome.
I think for myself, I would say I'm pretty confident that Rebecca Dawn is going to be the 2025 DGPT Rookie of the Year, which only one person each year gets to be called a DGPT Rookie of the Year, and it's definitely a huge accomplishment to, like you said, just be the cherry on top of a already great rookie season.
Yeah, definitely.
So you finished 24th in the DGPT standings this year, despite only playing 12 tour events, which is a lot less than others that played this year and finished ahead of you. Looking ahead to 2026, I mean, I think we already know the answer to this. Like, do you plan on playing a full tour? Do you think you're going to pop over to Europe for some of those events? And is making the Pro Tour Championship going to be the big goal for next year?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to make most of the events next year. If I go to Europe, I'll probably just make 2 out of the 4 events. But that's definitely in consideration. But yeah, definitely my goal next year would make tour championships. I never really considered it a possibility this year just because of the number of tournaments I was playing. I just missed a lot of opportunities to make more points, but I guess it did get pretty close near the end of the season, so that was pretty fun to kind of see how close I could get, I guess. But yeah, I didn't quite make it this year, so definitely going on tour full time next season. That's definitely a goal of mine to make the tour championships. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest goals for next season.
I mean, you came pretty close this year, 24th, where that, I mean, that's not that far off from having made it. Like, that incredible accomplishment this first year.
Thank you.
So, looking ahead to the rest of this season, you're registered for one more event, Ontario Provincials in Guelph, where you'll be looking for your first FPO provincial title in a really solid FPO field. What are you looking forward to about the event, and what do you think will be the keys to success in taking down a provincial title? Are you familiar with the courses at all? I know for FPO, I believe you'll play in the same courses as me, Vic Park twice and Eastview once.
Okay.
So have you been out to those courses at all?
Nope. I've never played them or anything, so I guess I could say I'm not really prepared. But I honestly, at this point, I'm like pretty chill about it. I'm already kind of fixing my form right now, so I don't know if that's gonna really affect how I play. But I don't really have too much expectation on that event. I think I'm just excited for a nice local event, see everyone again, and just to finish off the season, hopefully on a high note. But really, I'll probably go up there for a few practice rounds and on those courses, but I am just pretty chill about the event. I'm not really stressing or thinking too much about it, but I'm also just trusting that I'll do pretty good, so hopefully that's the case, and I just play pretty good as I have been this year. But either way, it's just going to be a fun, chill event. See everyone again, so I'm excited.
Well, you're certainly used to showing up basically a couple days before an event and learning brand new courses.
Yes.
So this won't be anything unfamiliar to you.
No.
Do you think the crowd size will be intimidating at provincials compared to some of the other events that you've played this year? I mean, the spectators, it might get a bit rowdy out there.
Oh yeah, so many people are going to be there. Yeah, I don't know. This could be the biggest event of the season so far, I think. Definitely a high possibility.
I don't see how it could be anything other than that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're working on your form. What does the off season look like for you, and what about your form are you working on?
I am, so one of my friends, Cal Longquist, he's going to help with my form because he's really good with the mechanics of disc golf. So, I mean, that's another great thing about having friends. They're always there to help you. So he's going to be helping me with just kind of touching up my form because it's hard to really fix it in the middle of the season. So for a while, it's been kind of off. So yeah, this season I'm going to definitely touch it up, fix my reach back, and yeah, kind of just get it to where it's consistent, and yeah, mostly just fix that. I'm not exactly sure what else I'm going to be working on yet, but we're going to go through that, and then yeah, just keep on putting and trying to play as much as I can, even with all the snow. But I am planning on going to California in December, so that'll kind of be a good mid-season break to kind of learn how to throw again for a week and a half, get used to it, and actually in good weather. And then in February or January, I'll go somewhere warm as well and kind of warm up after the winter and all that. Just because, yeah, going to Florida and only having 3 days of playing in good weather would probably be really bad idea if I have just been playing in the snow the whole time. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to go to some warm places before tournaments and before the tour season to kind of get warmed up and feel good about my game again. So yeah, that's what it's going to look like, I think.
You definitely want to get warmed up before playing the Supreme Flight Open again
Yes.
at Olympus. That is a tough course to come in dry.
Oh yeah.
It's always a good idea to get a little bit of time out of the brutal Canadian winters that we get up here. At least last year was really bad with snow. The year before was next to nothing. So who knows what we're gonna get
Honestly, it's always
this year?
guess.
Exactly. It is anybody's guess. So, Rebecca, I've got one more question for you before we get to the lightning round, which I couldn't believe we've never done the lightning round with you in the 2 times that we've had you on. We must have started that after your last appearance. So, last question that I have for you. I was out at the Stones Throw Fall Open this past weekend and got to be on a card with my good buddy Kyle McCutcheon, who is the TD this coming weekend for the Five Sisters Open, which is going to be held at your family course, which is super awesome. You won't be playing it, but for anybody and I think registration it's got to be closed at this point with it coming up this weekend. So anybody that's listening and is already signed up, what could they expect out from the course out there? It's also opening for the first event as a B tier, which is super awesome. And if I didn't have some other plans, I would 100% be signing up. But for the people that are signed up, what can they expect out at the Dawn family course?
I mean, yeah, this weekend's going to be super exciting because it's kind of opening it up to the public. And I mean, we've had this course for the past few years. It's what I've been playing on, and really where I learned how to play. And so it's been developing a lot over the past few years, even the past few weeks. But yeah, it's really exciting to open it up to the public, have people play it, and also just get some feedback. But yeah, this is going to be really fun to have so many people out on the property playing it. And we have 24 holes. I think we have changed it to be 18 for the tournament, possibly. I don't know the details exactly since I've been gone for the past few weeks, but I'm gonna be here all weekend helping with just things going smoothly and selling some discs and meeting people. And yeah, I'm really excited for this weekend. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But definitely really a cool part to kind of open it up to the public and share kind of our property and the course that we've built and that I've learned on. So yeah, I guess it's really pretty. The time of year is really nice, and hopefully it's not going to be too cold this weekend, but I think the weather looks pretty awesome. So yeah, it should be a really good weekend and a really good opening tournament, hopefully.
It really is the best time of year to be out in that part of the province.
Yes.
Playing some disc golf. Stone's Throw last weekend was so beautiful, and I had heard about your course before through the grapevine, knowing people out at that area. So now that it's open to the public, hosting a tournament, I wish I was there this weekend. I really wish I was, but someday soon, I hope to get out there and try it out. So I can't wait.
Rebecca, before we let you go, somehow I'm shocked that we have not done the lightning round questions with you before. I could have sworn that we had, because I just assume we've done it with everybody at this point. But Robbie correctly notes that we haven't. So we have to subject you to them as well. So, quick questions, easy, whatever comes to mind first. Easy softball one to start. What is your favorite course? And let's add a little twist. What was your favorite course before the start of the season? And now that you have done a tour, what is your now favorite course? Has it changed?
Oof. This is actually harder than I thought.
Excellent.
I would say it depends on like prettiest or just most fun to play. So I guess most fun to play, I actually really enjoyed playing Brewster Ridge in Vermont. That was just like really fun course to play. But then Glendoveer out in Oregon was also just beautiful and also so much fun to play. So I'm gonna have to say those two, because I can't think of others right now. After this, I'm probably gonna be like, oh shit, this one's definitely my favorite. But I'll go with those two. And then before playing tour this year, I would say I did play Olympus 2 years ago. So I really enjoyed that course. It was just pretty awesome, and what a sick property to play on. So I guess I'll say Olympus.
Those are some pretty sweet choices right there. Nobody can argue with that. On a little bit of the opposite side of the spectrum, or maybe not opposite, because I think we have gotten the same answer for the first and second questions in this before. But the second question I got for you, what's the hardest course that you've ever played?
Trying to go through all the events that I played. It might be Toboggan, maybe just for this year. I might say the Toboggan because I guess the weather was pretty crazy, but the wind and just the elevation changes and all that was like pretty hard to adapt to, and also just not like the course itself, but just the hike of playing the course. It's like on coverage you don't see how big those hills actually are, and like walking the full 18, it's like
they are big.
It's pretty insane to play that whole course because you're throwing the whole time, but also you're hiking up and down the fairway. So I might say that one as the hardest course this year.
That would absolutely be my least favorite course if I was on tour, because it just looks exhausting.
Yes, it's very,
not even even if you just walk the course, you don't throw a single disc. Like,
oof.
No, thank you.
No.
So Rebecca, what is one sport to watch or play other than disc golf? What are you choosing?
I really like volleyball, so I'll go with, I also just love watching like beach volleyball Olympics, Summer Olympics. That's so much fun to watch. And then, even playing beach volleyball, I would say.
The volleyball disc golf Venn diagram continues to basically be a solid circle.
Yeah.
There's so much crossover between those two sports.
Yes.
And I am with you there 100%. Volleyball was the only other sport I played growing up and love it. So
yeah,
fantastic choice.
Awesome.
Next one that I got for you, Rebecca, is what song makes you instantly turn the volume to max and sing your heart out?
Oh shoot.
Or rock out the hardest if you're not much of a singer. I know not everybody is a carpool karaoke guy like me, but what makes you rock out?
Karaoke track.
I mean, I go through so many genres. I have so many different songs I could choose, but to sing my heart out, it might have to be like a Disney song. One of those Disney songs, maybe.
Nothing wrong with that.
Trying to think of maybe a Disney song like from Moana, or it could be from Mulan. There's a few good ones in Mulan. I just cannot think fully exactly which songs, but I would say definitely Disney songs. You put on a Disney playlist, I'll know almost every one of them. So yeah, I would say any Disney song.
It's funny because once you said Disney songs, my mind immediately went to "Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, which is such a good tune.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as you mentioned Moana, it already "You're Welcome" is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the night now.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's something about Disney tunes that go so hard and are so good.
Yeah, totally.
So now that you've been on tour, you put on many miles in the car, I am sure. What is your favorite place to stop for food on a road trip? You're driving down to the next city. You see a sign on the side of the road that says food ahead. What sign are you hoping it's going to be?
I'll go with Chick-fil-A. Good classic right there. But I mean, there's also quite a few restaurants that my friends are like, "How have you never been to this restaurant?" So it might change next year once they introduce me to more food places. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to go with Chick-fil-A right now.
I think if we had to tabulate the total responses from that question, Chick-fil-A might have the
100%
most
in first
responses.
place.
Yeah, especially from either our American guests or Canadians that have been down on tour. Everybody loves some Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah.
Rebecca, the next one I got for you. What movie never gets old, no matter how many times you watch it?
I will have to say F1. That's like one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it 3 or 4 times. So I don't think it's ever going to get old.
A recent movie that is already at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say, Sean, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie.
I have heard nothing but good things, but I'm impressed that it has already hit the top of the list. That's pretty impressive. I've got Apple TV, so I gotta get that on.
Yeah, definitely.
I missed it in IMAX, which is I'm sad I missed it in IMAX because that would have been incredible to watch, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
Last lightning round question for you, Rebecca. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
Yep, that's the number one answer.
Yep. Going with the classic.
By far the most chosen answer to that question. And how can you argue? I mean, it would be so cool to be able to fly.
It certainly would make the commute between tour stops a lot easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
I mean, assuming you can fly fast, not
exactly.
Fly at walking speed.
Yeah, no, you gotta be like
less convenient.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Rebecca Dawn.
Here I am.
Get that 3-point superhero landing on the tee pad.
Oh yeah.
At exactly 5 minutes before your tee time.
Yes. Major entry.
I think we just talked about movies, and I think we just came up with a bit of a screenplay there. We gotta contact some directors and producers and make the Rebecca Dawn story.
That would be interesting.
100% accurate, in no way embellished Rebecca Dawn story.
Yes.
Not at all. Well, Rebecca, we have taken up a lot of your time. Thank you so much once again for joining us here tonight. It is always a pleasure to have you on the show. Before we let you go, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give or any final comments? We're going to pass the floor over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. This has been super fun. And then I'll give a quick shout out to all my sponsors. Innova, Pound, Backstage Organics, Touch Disc Golf. Those are the main ones, and yeah, they've been pretty awesome this year. It's awesome to have awesome companies on my back and supporting me throughout the year. So definitely shout out to those guys, and then shout out to my family and my parents specifically, and even my siblings that took me to places on tour this year. Wouldn't be possible without the support of my family, obviously. And then even shout out to my friends on tour. They also made it possible. So yeah, really just everyone supporting me, even everyone who's bought a disc or follows me on Instagram or just keeps up with my journey and how everything's going. Really couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are amazing. And yeah, just thank you so much for following along.
Becca, it is always a pleasure to have you here. Good luck with the final remaining tournament of the year, Ontario Provincials. And although I do think we will talk to you and have you on the show again beforehand, a preemptive good luck with everything in 2026. It was a great 2025 year for you, and we cannot wait to see the heights that you can reach in 2026. So best of luck, and thanks as always for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We will be right back on Missed Mando. Welcome back to Missed Mando. Thank you once again to Dalla Dalla Don, coined by none other than Sean Galbraith. Thank you once again to Rebecca Don for joining us on the show. As I mentioned in there, part of the ever-growing 3-time Missed Mando guest club, which, like I said, the most exclusive club in disc golf, obviously. So thank you once again to Rebecca. Moving on now to a little bit of Ontario news. We got some general news. Thank you, Shawnee G, for adding this in there. The Ontario Disc Golf Association sent out a call for the Ontario Tour in 2026. TDs can now submit their application to be included in the tour. This is for Ontario majors, regional events, provincials. You can find details for that in the ODSA socials on Facebook or on Instagram. I got an email about it recently as well. So if you're subscribed to the ODSA newsletter, I guess, I don't know exactly what that's, I don't know what I signed up for to get their emails, but if you get emails from the ODSA, then you will have got one as well. But if you missed it, you can find it on their socials if you are running an event in 2026 and would like to be included on the Ontario Tour. We also have some registrations and tournaments still left coming up for the rest of the 2025 season. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you.
There is still time to register for the Five Sisters Open out in Westport at the Dawn family course that we talked to Rebecca about a little bit. It is coming up this weekend and will be an amazing event. You definitely don't want to miss that, like Robbie and I will be. I'm still tempted, but I don't know if I can make it happen, which I'm really bummed about, because it looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. And the funds, the money raised will help get more baskets on the course and help Rebecca's 2026 tour. So it's going to a good cause. It's a B tier. Come on, people, get on it. Should be amazing. And then next one, it's not one you can pre-register for, but it's one you just got to show up and experience. It is Jangalaqua 18 out at White Spruce on October 30th. Registration is done on site. It is random doubles. It is a fantastic time. Absolutely one of the best tournaments of the season. One of the longest running in the GTA for sure. For good reason. It is so much fun. You can sign up to decorate one of the holes if you can. It's gonna be a blast. You do not want to miss this. And then a little bit of a teaser. Don't have all the details worked out yet, so we're not going to give all of them out tonight. Can't say what I don't know yet. Mist Mando Mayhem number 4 is coming. Mark your calendar, November 15th. Location, stay tuned. It's happening. It's going to be a blast. We're going to make it as ridiculous as ever. Try to achieve new levels of mayhem and new levels of stupidity. Cannot wait. Love doing these events. We love having so much fun. And it is food bank season for sure. We're going to try and raise as much money and as much food as we can for the local food bank. You do not want to miss this. These are going to be amazing.
Definitely keep your eye out for Mist Mando 4. Can't wait to be back out for another Mist Mando event. The last one out at White Spruce was incredible. And of course, speaking of White Spruce, do not miss out on Jangalaqua 18. I have yet to be to a Jangalaqua tournament, and 100% will be there this year. There's no reason I should miss that, so I will be there 100%. Moving on now to some tournaments that have happened. We start our recaps with a ferry ride over to Toronto Island for the Wards Wide Open, a C-tier event which saw 76 competitors across 13 divisions. In the MPO division, James Atkinson had the hot start with a 965 rated -3 to take a 2-stroke lead over Cody Johnson and Calvin Rorda into the final round. James was able to increase his lead to 4 through the first 7 holes of round 2, but Calvin was able to get 2 strokes back on holes 8 and 9 to get back within 2, and it stayed that way until a bogey from James on hole 15 and a birdie from Calvin on 17 tied things up. James would miss a par putt on hole 18 to give Calvin a 1-stroke win, and both were able to birdie the final hole 19 temporary hole. I think they called it hole A. Both were able to take the birdie on that final hole to give Calvin the come from behind 1-stroke win. Over in MP40, Adam Shepardley matched the MPO hot round, also shooting a 965 rated -3 in round 1 to hold a 1-stroke lead over Craig Ireland heading into the final round. But in round 2, Craig was able to battle back with a 980 rated -3 to come from behind and take down a 1-stroke win, his 4th win of the season. In FP40, Laura Weiss took a 1-stroke lead over Jane Logan after round 1. And in the final round, both players shot an identical +7 round to give Laura the 1-stroke win, her 2nd win of the year. Finally, in MA1, Michael Wilson held a 1-stroke lead over Ryan McWaters after the first round. But in round 2, Ryan was able to rise above the pressure and a charging Marc-Andre Comtois from the chase card to take down the win by 2 strokes, his 2nd win of the year, both of which have come in the last 3 events. And the tournament in between that, he finished 2nd at Canadian Nationals. So McWaters on a hot streak. Shout out to Kat Johnson as well, who with no FPO division competed in MA1 and averaged 28 points above her rating to finish 5 strokes off the lead in solo 5th. Huge shout out there. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any ace shoutouts or any other shoutouts you would like to give for the Wards Wide Open.
No aces out on the island this time. Not super surprising. I don't think that course gets a lot of them. I want to give shout out to 2 divisions that went down with a 1-stroke victory. First, we had Trison, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Trison Boys, he took down MA3 over Andrew Kavanaugh. And then In MA40, it was Jason Commendador who took it down by 1 stroke over Ezra Hauser. Well done, gentlemen. Love to see those tight battles and those amazing competition.
Shout out to Jason Commendador there, someone that I have played a lot with in MA1. I think it was last year especially. It seemed like at least one round in every tournament I would end up with Jason on my card. And to be honest, had no idea that he was eligible for MA40. So, taking one down for the old guys, which I still can say, even though I'm past the 30 mark, I can still say about you 40-year-olds. And maybe even higher than that. Cough, Shawnee G, cough. But good job to everybody there out at the Wards Wide Open. Next, we head to South River, Ontario for the 2025 WolfKat Classic, which saw 66 players competing across 10 divisions, including 6 in MPO, in which Nathan Kay held a 4-stroke lead over Thomas Hums after a 10-11 rated -10 in round 1. Nathan was able to keep his foot on the gas in the final round, shooting the hot round again and increasing his lead to a 5-stroke win, his first MPO win of the season, to go along with 2 wins in MP40. Over in the FPO division, Alicia Hums took a 12-stroke lead over Lydia Fearon into round 2 and extended her lead in round 2 into a 21-stroke win, her 8th FPO win of the season, with a couple of events left to go in 2025. In the top amateur divisions, Cassandra Bellisdent took the win in FA1 as the only competitor in the division. And over in MA1, Trent Dunford took a 5-stroke lead over Jeremy Stevens after round 1 and took down the win by 7 strokes after round 2 for his first win of the season, with JF Menard shooting a 976 rated -7 in the final round to jump up into second place. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any aces, close battles, or anything else you got from the 2025 WolfKat Classic.
Not a surprise that there weren't any aces. Too bad. That would have been super, super sick. But alas, I want to give a shout out to FA40. That went down to a 3-person playoff. That is so sick. And in the end, it was Lindsay Pattison who held it down for the win, beating out Erica Hughes and Stacy Kaufman. Amazing. We'd love to see it. That is fantastic. We don't get 3-way playoffs very often. There were a couple on the Pro Tour this year, but I don't remember the last one that we've had here in Ontario off the top of my head. So this was super cool to see.
Absolutely love seeing playoffs, and getting more people in there just always makes it more exciting. We don't see 3-person playoffs enough. I don't know if I've ever seen a 4-person playoff, so that's got to be on the bucket list for me to see at some point. But congrats to everybody who took down a win out at the WolfKat Classic. We head next to Guelph, Ontario for the first ever Lucky Lines Open, which saw 148 total competitors across 18 divisions descending onto Eastview Park, which will be one of the host courses for this year's provincial championships coming up in a couple weeks. So great opportunity for a tournament practice round out at Eastview. In the MPO division, it was a tie at the top between Martin Hendel and Nathan Brower after round 1, as both players shot a 1,000 rated -6, with Chris Brown and Matt Bootsma only 1 stroke back in a tie for third. The final round was a battle, with the entire lead card staying in the mix for the win, but it was Brian McDonald on the chase card who was shredding the most, shooting -7 through 16 holes to sit 1 back of the lead. Because this was a shotgun start event, the lead card would finish on hole 8, while Brian and the chase card would finish on hole 1, And with 2 holes to play, it was Marty and Chris tied for first at neg 10, with Brian 1 shot back at neg 9, and Matt and Nathan tied at neg 8. Marty would take a par on 17, while Chris took an unfortunate bogey to drop to neg 9. Matt and Nathan took birdies to join him at neg 9, only 1 stroke back of the lead, and Brian was able to birdie hole 18 to tie the lead with 1 hole to play. Now, I'm not 100% certain of the exact timing everybody finished their final hole, but on hole 1, Brian was able to take a par to stay at -10, but on hole 18, Chris was able to get the birdie to get back to -10, while Marty was also able to get the birdie to give him the 1-stroke win, his 4th MPO win of the season, with Chris and Brian finishing tied for second. Over in FPO, Jess Goulet held a 3-stroke lead over Colleen McInnes after a 934 rated -2 in round 1, and she was able to improve by a stroke in the final round with a 944 rated -3 to take down the win by 7 strokes, her 6th win of the season so far. And remember that so far, because we might add to that total in just a minute. In the MP40 division, Brady Belanger took a 5-stroke lead over Luke Johnson after a 963 rated -2 in round 1. But in the final round, it was Luke who was able to storm back with a 991 rated -5 to take the win by 2 strokes for his first win of the season. Meanwhile, in FP40, Sandy Hendel takes the win as the only competitor in the division, but I don't think anyone would have stood a chance anyways, as she would average 917 for the event to shoot 14 under total. Great performance there from Sandy. Over in the top amateur divisions, Stephanie Hall held a 2-stroke lead over Danielle McBride after a 892 rated -4 in round 1, and kept her foot on the gas in the final round, shooting a 904 rated -5 to extend her lead into a 9-stroke win, giving her 5 wins in only 5 events so far this season. A perfect 5 for 5 in FA1. Looking to go 6 for 6 at provincials coming up. We'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, in MA1, it was a 3-way tie at the top between Marc-Andre Comtois, Nate Framst, and Shoaib Solker after matching 993 rated -5s in round 1, which at the time was actually rated 1001. When it went official, they got dropped big time there. But those were some sick rounds. And it was yours truly joining them on the lead card, but a full 5 strokes back of the lead at even par. That's how much of a drop off there was from the leaders to the rest of the field. After 9 holes in the final round, Nate had taken a 2-stroke lead over Schwabe, 3 strokes over Mark, but then we hit the missed Mando turning point on hole 10 as Mark would birdie, Schwabe would bogey, and Nate would double bogey, giving Mark a share of the lead with Nate. Things would unfortunately get worse for Nate from there as he would go +7 in the last 8 holes to drop down into 7th place. Meanwhile, Schwabe would go +1 in the last 8 holes to stay in 2nd, but Mark would go -2 in the final 8-hole stretch to take a 3-stroke win, his 2nd win of the season. And I saw him jokingly say afterwards that finally he can win somewhere other than Blueberry Brawl, as I believe he's won Blueberry Brawl 3 times now in different divisions. But getting a win here in Guelph. And I will also add, bummer for me. I was sitting in 4th with 2 holes to play and then took a triple bogey on hole 17 and dropped all the way down to, I believe, 8th place is where I ended up finishing. So a little roller coaster Robbie action to end the round there, but that's just how she goes sometimes. That's the way she goes. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you and hear some of your thoughts coming out of the Lucky Lines Open.
Shout out to Matt Bootsma. Ace, Eastview, hole 4, Longs.
Such
this
a
is
sick
a
ace.
sick ace. That is a tough angle. To be honest, I didn't even know that was even an option with a little bit of a ceiling there. You got the guardian trees, elevated basket around the corner, high risk shot. Absolutely love it. That is a sick ace. Well done, Matt. And then we had two close divisions that I love to see. We had MP50. We had George Jensen beat Howie Meeker by a stroke. Well done there. Then we had a playoff in MA50 between legend Paul Dipp and Klaus Christofferson. But it was Paul Dipp who took it down in the end. Well done. Fantastic battles, boys. Well done.
Yeah, we love to see the close battles, and huge shout out to Matt on that ace. That definitely is a really, really sick hole to do. And despite the loss, shout out to Klaus Christofferson, because that's a sick name. That sounds like I don't even know, so like in a spy thriller or something. Like you'd read that name in a book and be like, yeah, that's the hero of this story, Klaus Christofferson. That's just awesome name. So gotta throw in a shout out there to go along with the second place finish. Moving on now, next up we head to beautiful Enterprise, Ontario for the Stones Throw Fall Open, which saw 56 competitors across 11 divisions out for the one-day C-tier event. MPO was the only pro division at the event, and it was James Atkinson who held a two-stroke lead over Spencer Young and William Murphy Gelderman after a 995 rated -4 in the first round. But in the final round, James was able to absolutely catch fire, shooting a career-high 1047 rated round with a -10, a tournament course record at Stones Throw from the long tees, from what I hear. And he would cruise to an 8-stroke win, his first career MPO win, to go along with 3 MA1 wins this season. And from what I heard from friend of the show, Spencer Young, after the event, it was one of the best putting performances he has ever seen in his life. So huge shout out to James there. No surprise to me, because James beat me in MA1 at this event by a single stroke last year, and his putting was lights out. So he knows what he's doing with a putter in his hand, that's for sure. Over in MA1, Kyle McCutcheon had a 1-stroke lead over this guy right here, yours truly, after shooting a 943 rated +2 in the first round, with Sebastian Rosinski 5 off the lead and Max Noé 7 strokes back. In the final round, Kyle would go +5 on the front 9 to fall to +7. I went +1 in that same stretch to hold a 3-stroke lead at +4, while Max shot -1 in that stretch to get back into things at +8. A birdie for Max and a bogey for me on hole 10 would shrink the lead to 3, but a birdie on 15, or shrink the lead to 2, I think is what I meant to write, but a birdie on 15 gave me a 3-stroke lead again. But then, we get to the missed Mando turning point on hole 14, where I had a super risky uphill putt. It's a par 3, not very far, but the basket is on this huge mound, and I was down at the bottom of the hill, super risky with the slope and water in behind. Every single time should be a layup, take the easy par, but instead I ran it, and my putter rolled down into OB, and I would take a double bogey while Max got par, and my lead was down to 1. A birdie on 16 brought the lead back up to 2, but back-to-back birdies on 17 and 18 by Max would tie things up, and pars from both of us on hole 1 would send things to a playoff. On the first playoff hole, which was hole 1 again, Max went OB off the tee, but I struggled to get up a little bit, but I did have a circle 1 putt for the win, let it go, and splashed out left side. Not a spit out or anyway, it was definitely a miss. It was enough left that it wasn't a spit out. Just a miss on my part, but did get a lot of chains. But alas, we go on to the second playoff hole, and after my drive went OB it's a blind tee shot for anybody that's familiar with stone's throw. I turned it over to the right. The people that were standing up there said it got the weirdest anti-skip ever into OB. Now, I don't know how much I can trust that. I didn't see it myself, but that's what I heard. And after I went OB, Max was able to play the rest of the hole for par, albeit with a pretty sick second shot into the green, and then was able to lay up and tap in for par to take down the win, his second win of the season, and avenging his loss to me out at the 5F in Kemptville, where we also had an epic battle there. So big shout out to Max. Anytime we're playing together, it's always a back and forth battle, and congrats on the win there. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you and hear some of your thoughts, ace shoutouts, close battles, whatever you got from the Stones Throw Fall Open.
Definitely want to give an ace shout out to Isaac Zollinger, hole 14 in the MA2 division. Well done, and went on to win. Amazing. Fantastic ace. I don't know the course. I don't know this hole. Robbie, what is hole 14 like to ace?
Hole 14 is a nice ace. It's, like I said, it's not the farthest. This is the one that I had the dun-na-na, dun-na-na TSN turning point, and I took a double bogey. Not the longest hole in the world, just a tough green, and if you don't stay up on the basket, like if he doesn't hit the basket, it's going down the hill behind, guaranteed, but he didn't need to worry because he cashed it right into the heart of the chains.
Amazing. And then also give a shout out to MA3 player Alexander Crouch for taking that division down by a single stroke. Well fought there, boy.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this is a shout out or a call out. Not exactly sure, but also, at least in my mind, worth mentioning, a certain guy named Galen Naidu Harris finished ninth.
I'm unfamiliar
out of 12.
with the guy. I don't know who the person is. Who's that?
Not sure, but he finished ninth out of 12 competitors, a full, what would that be, 12 strokes back of the lead. So, not the best performance there, but
I mean, it might actually be
cool
his
name,
best
so
performance.
Maybe. Yeah, MA3 champion Galen Naidu Harris there.
Well done coming off the bench, Galen.
Absolutely. It's nice to see Galen out at some events again.
Absolutely is.
Yeah, lovely to see. His life has gotten a wee bit busier as a dad, understandably so. Moving on now, our final recap takes us to Foxwood Golf Club in Baden, Ontario. Baden. I still don't know how to pronounce that properly. I should probably ask someone. For the first Flingsgiving tournament, which saw 100 total competitors over 2 days for the C-tier event over Thanksgiving weekend. In the FPO division, Jess Goulet continued her stretch of great play, firing a 952 rated -2 in the first round to take a 6-stroke lead over Alicia Hums into the final round, and was able to finish just as strong with a 951 rated -3 to take down the win by 9 strokes, her second win in a row and 7th total on the season. Over in MPO, Connell McLeod came out swinging in round 1, shooting a 1035 rated neg 11 to take a 3-stroke lead over James Atkinson into the final round, with Marty Hendel and Joe Vanderveen another stroke back in third. Despite some solid rounds from a bunch of guys in the mix, including a 998 rated -8 from Connell, there was no stopping Marty Hendel in round 2, as he would birdie 13 holes in a row, finish with a 1065 rated -15 total, and take down the win by 3 strokes over Connell, his second straight MPO win, 5th MPO win of the season, and 7th overall when you include his MP40 stats as well. Speaking of MP40, Craig Ireland took a one-stroke lead over Adam Hazel after round 1, with Chris O'Zolins and Ryan McFarland 2 back of the lead in third. But it was Oz who would have a sensational final round, shooting a 10-17 rated -10, which included an eagle on a par 5 and an ace on the par 3 18th in round 2, ending in style, coming from behind to take the win by 5 strokes, his 8th win of the season. Meanwhile, in FP40, Sandy Hendel held a 8-stroke lead over Bonbon after a 934 rated even par in round 1, and Sandy would go on to win by 16 strokes after round 2 for her 5th win of the year. In the top amateur divisions, Kyrie McKeag took down the win as the only competitor in FA1. And over in MA1, it was Dan Hines and Jeremy Stevens tied for the lead after round 1. But it was 2025 MA1 national champion Nate Framst who was able to shoot the final round hot round, a 980 rated -6, to come from behind and take down the one-stroke win, his 3rd win of the season. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you and hear some of your thoughts from Flingsgiving.
No aces to other than Oz's sick ass ace to shout out, and surprisingly, not many close battles either. There was the MA1 win by 1 stroke, but like that was it. It was every other division was at least 2 strokes. MA3 was 2 strokes, was Steve Stassen beating Mateo Hill. But other than that, it was people cruised to comfortable leads and comfortable wins across pretty much all the divisions. One thing I meant to ask you, Rob, what layout? Do you know what layout they were playing out there? Because
Yes.
ace on 8, I only know like the Foxwood Open layout, and
Not
I'm
that
thinking
course.
Oz acing that one would be truly a remarkable ace. But my hunch is I'm not thinking it's the same layout.
No, so Foxwood Open is traditionally held on the white course, Foxwood White. This tournament was held on Foxwood Red, the entirely separate 18-hole course that they have at Foxwood, which I have yet to play, actually. I've never played the red
Same
course.
here.
I know that they incorporate it during Foxwood League during the year. I think they alternate between the white and the red course. But the Foxwood Open has always been on the white course. So I've never played the red course, but I've heard really good things about it. I know I heard Chris O'Zolins raving about getting able to play the red layout again. So I really don't have much insight on that layout at all. I'm sure it's very familiar in terms of overall sort of style as the white course, being it's the same property out on a golf course. But yeah, not hole 18 from the whites. That would be the most ridiculous ace of all time. I'm trying to think of how it could even be possible, and it's not. It's just not. But the red layout, now that doesn't mean that it's easy, because I'm going to quickly pull it up here in my hole scores. Hole 18 is a 373 foot par 3. So in no means just a short little gimme par 3. Still got some mustard on it, and that's a sick ace for Oz.
Absolutely is.
All right. Well, that is it for all of our Ontario recaps, but there was a big one, and we are going to head down to Rock Hill, South Carolina for one of the most prestigious events in all of disc golf, with the United States Disc Golf Championships. And on the FPO side, the unofficial fifth major of the year, the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship, which, as we mentioned in our interview with Rebecca, 100% is a major in our minds here on Mist Mando, or at least my mind. I probably shouldn't speak for Sean, but definitely is in my mind. Thumbs up from Shawnee G2. We're good to go. On the USDGC side of things, Anthony Barella finally collects his first career major, taking it down by 4 strokes over Ricky Wysocki and Paul Macbeth, who tied for second place. AB averaged 1070 rated over the 4 rounds, the second highest event average at an Elite Series or major in his career. And he also led the field in both C1 and C2 in regulation, giving himself the most birdie opportunities in the field and obviously capitalizing on the most as well. Over on the Throw Pink side of the event, despite a final round in which it felt like nobody on the lead card really wanted to win, some sloppy play all over the place. But in the end, Missy Gannon ends up taking down the win by 3 strokes, her second straight win and third in her last 4 events, while also becoming the clear frontrunner for the FPO Player of the Year award. Anneli Togias Monaste and Silva Saarinen finished in a tie for second. I love saying her last name, Saarinen. And a huge shout out, big, huge, massive shout out to friend of the show, Sophia Dunica, who shot the hot round in the final round to move up 3 spots into solo 4th, her best finish at an Elite Series or major this season as she gets ready for the upcoming DGPT Championship, which of course she qualified for at the MVP Open, and we talked about on the last show. Also, if you haven't seen it, I posted it in my story just in a crappy little video taken from my phone, but it's also since been shared by Jomez and the Pro Tour. Sophia on hole 15 hitting a sick putt through the trees and just hitting a quick spin and stare down of the camera. It was a sick putt, but also a really funny highlight with the reaction afterwards. So big shout out to Sophia for her great play at Throw Pink. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you and let's hear some of your thoughts from USDGC and the Throw Pink Women's Championship.
Congrats again to friend of the show, Sophia Dunica. An amazing final round. Went clean after hole 6, nailing 6 birdies in the final 12 holes. So good. 1,003 rated. Fantastic. What a great way to finish it off. And great lead in to the Pro Tour Championship. Definitely. We're hoping to have her on next week for a special interview only show. We'll hopefully talk about her big win at the Pro Tour Championships. Let's go. Let's go, Sophia. Let's go. Want to just highlight one of the rounds on USDGC. That is Ricky Wysocki's second round. 1102 rated, scorching -13, including an eagle. Absolutely one of the best rounds of the year and one of the best rounds ever at USDGC. It was unbelievable. Like, just couldn't miss anything. Putts from all over the place. So sick. Definitely go back and watch that on Jomez. Because it was absolutely incredible. Also loved seeing the Ricky Paul battle. Classic. Throw in Calvin in the mix. Total throwback. Throw in Calvin in the mix, and this was a classic battle. It was nice to see AB take it down. I was rooting for McBeast to come in and take that record. That would have been super nice, but I'm just glad that Gannon did not win. So that was good. I'm in the Gannon hater club. Player hater right here. Love to see AB take it down. That was an amazing tournament. And it's also nice to see this division actually trying to win the thing.
It was a ton of fun to watch. Thanksgiving dinner, I was tuned in. I had it going on my phone watching the final round. Had to make sure to tune into that and was rewarded with some great play. And that Ricky round was mind-boggling. He bogeyed hole 18 and still shot over 1100 rated. Absolutely crazy. If he was able to get a birdie on that final hole and get to 15 under, best round of all time, potentially. It would have been absolutely mind-boggling. But we are going to move on now to our very last Pro Tour preview for the 2025 season with the upcoming 10th annual Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship being held in this year. It is in, I believe, Lynchburg, Virginia. Let me clarify that. It is being held at an updated version of New London Tech and at Ivy Hill, the two courses that we saw for Worlds last year. Should be very exciting. And of course, this is going to be another stroke advantage event. 4 rounds of standard stroke play, but an advantage for players depending on how they finished in the 2025 Disc Golf World Standings. Pro Tour World Standings, I should say. And I'll give a little quick rundown. We've got Gannon Burr starting at neg 8, Calvin Heimberg at neg 7, Paul Macbeth and Isaac Robinson at neg 6, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Barella, Ezra Robinson, Kyle Klein at neg 5, Adam Hammes, Sullivan Tipton, Niklas Antela, Ezra Aderhold at neg 4. Simon Lizotte, Aaron Gossage, Andrew Marweed, Cole Radalin at neg 3. Corey Ellis, Chris Dickerson, Gavin Babcock, Evan Smith at neg 2. Bradley Williams, Casey White, Luke Taylor, friend of the pod, Paul Crayons, all at neg 1. And Chris Clemens, Nestori Tukinen, Rasmus Salkaripi, and Matt Oram at even. Oh, and Ben Calloway, Larry Lettinen, Eagle McMahon, Andrew Presnell, and Mason Ford, all at even par as well. Couple little things of note on the MPO side. Ben Calloway qualified for this event with a win this season. I forget exactly which event he won. Des Moines, maybe? I don't exactly remember. He won a Pro Tour event, which automatically gets you in no matter how well you finish in the overall standings, and also qualified via a win. Mauri Vilman will not be in attendance as he has to go back to Estonia for mandatory military service, which will obviously make him unable to attend the event. But over on the FPO side, also some stroke advantages. Holland Hanley starting at -8, Missy Gannon -7, Owen Scoggins -6, Silva Saarinen neg 5, Paige Pierce, Ella Hansen neg 4, Val Mondahano, Kat Murch neg 3, Kat Allen, Evelina Salonen, Cadence Burge, Hannah Wynn, all at neg 2, Rebecca Cox, Jessica Gerthy, Hannah Blomroos, Anniken Sten at -1. Also, I'm just realizing that it now says Jessica Gerthy and not Jessica Weiss. Congrats on getting married to the Gerthys, which happened earlier this summer, I remember. Lisa Fakis, Madison Walker, Raven Klein, and Sophia Dunica, all at even par. One thing of note in the FPO field, Haley King qualified as the wildcard 1 coming out of MVP Open, but withdrew from Throw Pink and the Pro Tour Championship with an ankle injury. And in her place, Raven Klein was promoted up into the Pro Tour Championship. So good luck to Raven out there. Looking back on last year, we had Gannon Burr taking it down on the MPO side by a stroke over Ricky Wysocki, who was 10 strokes ahead of third place. I remember that insane. I think it was round 3 last year, their insane battle. Absolutely crazy. And over on the FPO side, Missy Gannon took it down by 2 strokes over Kristen Latt and Owen Scoggins, who tied for second. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you. Any thoughts you've got? What are you looking forward to for the Pro Tour Championship?
It's 4-round event. I don't think the stroke advantage for the top of the field is a significant. It's going to be.
They lowered it this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a significant determinant over 4 rounds. It's a nice little bump. It gives them a little tiny cushion, but there is so much golf out there to play that it's not. I don't think it's going to be a big thing for probably like the top. Like over 4 rounds, 6 shots, 7 shots, like that's nothing. That's nothing. Even when the leader is Gannon Burr, like that can be chased down 100%. It'll be interesting to see how world champion on these courses Isaac Robinson will do. He's only starting 2 strokes back. Could he reclaim glory on these courses? Entirely possible. Again,
Evelina on the FPO side too, world champion on these courses, and starting at -2, so starting 6 strokes back. But she dominated off the tee at that world championship while having like a historically bad putting performance. So if she can even putt slightly better while still having the same success off the tee at these courses, she is very much in it.
Sophia 8 strokes back, starting 8 strokes back in a field of this few players. That is over 4 rounds. That is absolutely a field that she can attack. And she's got the arm. Her putting was looking fantastic last weekend. This is truly, and certainly an FPO, this is anybody's match to win. That's going to be an exciting one to watch. MPO, yeah, there's probably, I would say the top, if you're starting -2, easily, you are definitely still in it. Starting even, there's a lot of guys starting even. It's just a really deep field. I think it's going to be a bit challenging, but it's a lot of golf. It's a lot of golf. I'm excited for this event. I love that everybody who qualifies cashes. No cuts.
Solid amount of cash for just showing up too, even if you finish in last place.
Nice little payout for Sophia at the end of the round, or at the end of the season. So cool, so great. It's gonna be so much fun. I'll definitely be watching.
I will 100% be watching as well. One thing I will say, definitely Sophia has a great opportunity to launch up the leaderboard. She's been playing great. One thing that she is going to have to do is going to have to overcome her early round struggles that she's had in the last 2 tournaments at MVP and at Throw Pink. She had some early struggles in round 1 at both those events before firing back up the leaderboard. Now, starting at the bottom of the leaderboard with a stroke advantage to the players in front of you, there's no opportunity for a bad round to come up the leaderboard there. So looking for Sophia to have a strong start to the event, and I definitely like her chances. Now, if anybody listening to this podcast also listens to the Upshot podcast, you might be familiar with something called a fork line. And I'm interested, Shawnee G, where you put your fork line in both divisions. Myself, I would say, just looking at the names, like regardless of the stroke back, it's like, do I think these guys are the guys that will overcome the guys ahead of them? And honestly, I think that the fork line, in MPO, I would have to put at the guys at -4. Anyone 3 down or lower, I don't think you got a chance. I'm forking you. Your chances are done. But anyone above that, Ezra, Nicholas, Sullivan, Adam are all at -4. Nicholas especially, I remember he had a pretty solid performance at Worlds out here before getting that brutal spit out and roll away on hole. What was 14 or something at Ivy Hill, the basket that was on the insane side slope. He was playing good up until that point. So I definitely like his chances there. And over on the FPO side, man, Missy Gannon has been playing so well down the stretch here. I really think she's got to be the favorite easily, but I will put my fork line at the -2 group of players, mainly because that group includes Evelina Salonen. And like I said, she has a great opportunity to jump up the leaderboard if she can play like she did at Worlds here last year, and especially if she can play off the tee like she did last year, but improve her putting a little bit, then she might be unbeatable. She might be untouchable if that's the case. But those are my fork lines. Johnny G, what about you?
FPO, I'm going to start there. I have even par. The whole field. I'm not forking anybody because it's 4 rounds. Like, do you think that Sophia can have 2 strokes on Missy Gannon in a single round? Of course she can. Absolutely. There's 4 rounds of though. The lead is gone. It's evaporated. Boom. It's a lot of golf. So I'm not forking anybody in FPO. And shame on you. Shame on you.
I'm sorry, Sophia.
Hater.
I want Sophia to prove me wrong. I want her to prove me wrong.
Oh, she absolutely will. I guarantee it. Over in MPO, listen, I know I just made the same argument, but I'm not going to do that. There absolutely is a fork line. I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to say -2 because, no, let's say -3 because Cole Radalin is at -3.
That was my hang up. That was my
and
too.
Like, I don't think Goose is going to do it. I don't think Marweed is going to do it. I don't think Simon is going to do it. But Cole making up 5 strokes, the way he's been playing the end of this season.
Yeah, he's been playing good.
He's on fire. He is on fire. I think he could easily make up 5 strokes over 4 rounds. 1 stroke per round. I think he could totally do it. So I'll put it at -3 to start. We'll see.
I like that. I like that. I was looking at -3 as well, with Cole being there and him on a hot streak, but I think -4. -4 is where I'm going to set it at. And the one thing I will say about maybe a little bit of a stricter fork line than you is I do agree 4 rounds is a lot. That's a lot of golf to play, but that's also a lot of people to jump over when you're that far down the leaderboard. Sure, you might gain some strokes on a couple of players there, but somebody else above you is also going to play pretty well, and makes it a little harder to jump over everybody. And I'm just forking them from the win. There's people below my fork lines that could definitely jump up, get from the bottom all the way up into a top 5 or onto the podium even. But to get all the way back up to a win, those are the fork lines that I'm going to give.
It's good. It's fair. I think it makes sense. I am just not as much of a hater as you are. Except for Gannon Burr, I'm 100%. 100%.
I was going to say, maybe only in this debate, because in every other instance, you are 100% a bigger hater than me.
That's fair.
but in this one, Sean's a big old softy. But yes, the 10th Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship starting. It actually will have started today when you're listening to this. So we'll see where those fork lines at after round 1. Who knows? No missed Mando rapid reacts coming out. You're gonna have to wait all the way until our next show to hear us talk about the Pro Tour Championship. But make sure you are tuning in. It is going to be very exciting. And Shawnee G, if there's nothing else for you to add, I'm going to throw it over back to you. Let's get us out of here, my friend.
It has been an amazing show. Thank you so much for Rebecca for coming on. I loved chatting about her season this year, learning about how it was to be out on tour and seeing her success. We cannot wait for next year to see how that goes. Everybody, have fun out there this weekend and over the next 2 weeks till our next official episode. Probably, hopefully, not 2 weeks. If you're out there playing the Niagara Disc Golf Tournament, or maybe you're playing the Five Sisters Open, or next week you're playing the Cold Creek Masters Extravaganza 2 up in King Township, or maybe, just maybe, you are one of the probably record-breaking field size for the Ontario Provincial Championships. Good luck, play well, wherever you play, have fun, enjoy your rounds, and we will see you out on the course.
On the course.
So close.